at least looks man-made. Or man-made. Unnatural, but man-made.
How do I explain it?
Yeah. You have to explain it for the entire world. This is it. This is all your training has come to this.
They put it in there. See, that's what they did.
Yeah.
They put it in the rock.
Well, there you go. All right, let me write a letter.
But yeah, they drilled a hole and then put a spark plug in it, Rusty. Come on, man.
Clearly, okay. Well, let me write an email. Jeez, this whole time.
If you're gonna throw softballs, I'll knock them out of the park every time, brother.
No, yeah, and it could be like, obviously, the funny thing about any of these phenomenons is that statistically phenomenons are going to happen. We just don't know how they're going to manifest. So you're going to see weird stuff all the time. So it could be just chopped up to that, just some weird rock structure that happens to look like that. But you have to like think about the compounding statistical nature of a circle within a circle, metallic, seemingly very reminiscent of what something that looks like today. I don't know. Can't explain it, but it certainly is insane.
Do you know how this... I don't know. This might be more of a question for somebody that knows more about geodes and stone specifically, but
that's me.
You know... Okay, perfect. Do you know how precise the art of aging a stone is, as far as what methods they use? Like
the actual like carbon dating and all that?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard so this is me just grabbing crap out of the air and relying on my memory, which is always a bad idea. But if you ask like the average geologist or anybody that's involved in any kind of carbon dating, they'll tell you it's pretty accurate. Like within a couple hundred years or even 50 years, it could be, depending on how, I guess it gets more funky the older it gets. But if you say something's 500,000 years old, it's probably true. Now, where it gets a little funky, which actually I found out during the research of this, was that some rocks, depending on the climate that it's in, like if it's under a waterfall or something like that, will give the appearance of it being older than it actually is. So where they find it matters, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So they carbon date it. They have to have the context of where they actually found the thing. But as you saw in the video, this guy just picked it up right off the ground. That was documentary. That wasn't a... No, it wasn't. That was History Channel having fun. But yeah, it really matters. Like, context really matters for these sort of things. And so my guess is because they haven't really answered the Corso artifact in terms of what it actually is, that they considered the context and they considered it from all angles. And maybe they have answered this and I just haven't seen it, but it still remains a mystery as far as I know.
So my follow-up question to that is, because again, if you're an archaeologist or paleontologist, but you have nothing published as far as your findings, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a person walking around aimlessly through the desert, right?
You're just a YouTuber.
Right. How easy is it to create something? I mean, if you know as much as you do about geodes and rock formations and carbon dating and everything else, how easy would it be to create something like this? I mean, if you have that knowledge,
yeah,
and that's where the only question I have to ask myself is, because who is this person otherwise? Of what
right.
other significance is the life of this individual that found it, this archaeologist? So, yeah, is that a motivator? Absolutely.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, behind every conspiracy is always some kind of greed or something like that that's involved. By the way, William Smith Boy just said, hey, and he decided to follow us. So thank you very much, William Smith Boy.
Appreciate that, William. Thanks.
And hey back, sir. Or, well, William Smith, I guess it's a guy. Could be a girl. I don't know. That's going to be fun, right? I should probably just never mention gender on this, ever.
Yeah. Good idea.
But but to your point, I don't know. I mean, I'm no expert, obviously, but I can't imagine you could form a rock and be within, I don't know, 100 years? Could you form a rock within a lifetime? Like, in terms of tricking the carbon daters to show that this thing has oxidized for millions of years, that it's formed through, I don't know, sand or whatever process rocks are made. Clearly, I'm a geologist, but I don't know that you can actually. How would you fake that? Like, how would you take and form a rock that not only are you forming said rock, but you're tricking other experts in the field on how old it is? That seems crazy to me.
Let me dig down a little deeper for you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the formation of a rock itself, and then the presumably arduous process of aging it, where you could thereby, have somebody else in your field agree that yes, this is that old. Do they have pictures of it when it was whole before they cut it open?
So you're saying they cut it open? So it's just some random dude walking around. He's like, I'm going to be the next geologist. I'm going to be the Steve Jobs of geology. And he cuts a rock in half, sticks in a spark plug, and then just says, woohoo, look what I found. Is that what you're saying?
So and beyond that, what was the work that happened afterwards? What's been done as a result of this finding? Have they dug at that site, to extreme extents to try and prove what if this was some kind of 5,000-year-old, electrical, what did they say, spark plug?
Well, they didn't call it a spark plug. They said it resembled a spark plug, or spark plug, and it seemed to have some kind of electrical function to it. And that's that's using the word seam.
Right, ceramic and metal, with a presumption of electronic use. Okay, so that in and of itself poses a question. What is it? Can we find more of them? If it was found in that certain area, are they digging to look for more?
I bet you they did, but they probably didn't find anything.
So does that add to the mystery and intrigue, or does that disprove it? For me, it kind of adds to it, to be honest.
To the intrigue that they didn't find anything else there?
Right.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, what else could you do? I mean, and I think when looking into this, like, they have the Corso. Okay, as an artifact reminding of a spark plug. The thing that makes it so unique is really the shape of said artifact that they found. So the shape that it shows up does not. Oh, you pop up, jerk. Okay. The shape of it is clearly not found in nature. So I think what they're really relying on here, they say spark plug, but I think that kind of throws people off, and that's a little clickbaity, if you will. But I think what's really the mystery here is the fact that it's the shaped the way it is and has very clear, I should say clear because that's very certain, but it has what would look like man-made elements within it, stuck in a geode. And that's kind of as far as it goes. So if you were, let's say this is all bogus, if you're going to go and look for other artifacts and blah, 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 and you didn't find anything, that to me, to answer your question, would almost discredit it further, right? Like, it would say, this is a random, organic, just, it happens to look like this. I don't know why. Just, we're expected to have some weird anomalies, right? We're expected to have, strange coincidences in our life, so maybe it's just the way it formed just looks completely like a electrical component. But if they found a secondary object there that was the same, then I would be like, whoa, there's some real stuff going on. Either way, it's intriguing to me, don't get me wrong, but yeah, does that make sense?
Absolutely. But this one in particular, man, like, oh man, what was the movie called where there's like the religious
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
No, negative. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Don't cut me off again. But no.
Devaluing this conversation.
There's this religious guy that he basically creates his own religious artifacts that people then come to believe in, and then they make these mega churches, and it's all fake. It's all a fallacy.
Yeah.
And it's and the reason I tell you this is because of the lead in, three people out in the wilderness looking for something, and all he did was pick up a random geode, and so it's like, how was it them? How was it that area specifically? How was it one? What was the intrigue to pick up that one geode in the first place?
I wondered that too. Like, why does he go, oh, look at that thing? I don't know. That's weird. We don't have that information, right?
Right. And so that's, look at that rock-shaped rock. What's the intrigue? I don't understand.
Geodes, it does say it's a geode. And I know a lot of people that they specifically go out geode hunting. Or maybe it wasn't specifically going out hunting for geodes, but, I assume there's a way to discern, oh, that's probably a geode. I'll pick that up and take it home. So geodes have to have some kind of external difference in appearance to, have this guy pick it up rather than just being another rock. So that does have some forgiveness there, I think.
Okay.
And then when he opened it, obviously, he shoved a spark plug in there.